Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and this is the Sitivian ST994, an M390 and a titanium frame lock with a shred carbon fiber overlay. And hands down, this is the best Sativian I have gotten to experience yet. Now, some of it might have to do with it just being in premium materials, like the titanium frame lock. This is the first titanium frame lock I have tried from Sativian. All the other titanium knives I've tried have been their steel liner lock knives, which, you know, are, in my opinion, still budget knives. They just happen to have premium materials covering, you know, budget materials. But in this case, this is an actual premium knife. And it's pretty reasonably priced considering what you're getting. About $129. I will link it below. For M390 titanium and carbon fiber. Now, yes, granted, the steel is probably not the hardest M390, you know, but when I look at some of the other stuff out there for twice the price, you know, for the same stuff, you know, I'm not going to be too mad at this one. But yes, I would imagine it's probably not the hardest M390, but I would imagine you'd still at least get at least get S30V edge retention out of it, right? Now, which is pretty good. So, not for M390, but I'm saying it's pretty good, you know, with considering all steels. Anyways, so it has a Tonto blade, basically a straight back Tonto blade, beautiful, acute, Americanized Tonto, so you're going to be able to use that secondary tip really nicely. The ergos are very straightforward, very neutral, so it really doesn't matter what grip. Even in the reverse gas station knife fighting grip, it's going to be nice and solid, and you actually got a spot that you can cap your thumb over, so, you know, you can get to work. Access to the lock bar, you know, it's not, like, it doesn't have great access, but it's also not bad because it's actually relatively comfortable. It's easy to get to, easy to get past the detent, and it is fall shut action. Now, one place that I'm very impressed with this is this flipper tab. This is a very well done flipper tab. I wish some other companies would take note on flipper tabs like this, because this is a very comfortable flipper tab. Very easy to build up pressure with one like this. You can go for the push button or a light switch, either one. Both of them are going to work extremely well, but it's such a comfortable flipper tab. It has jimping, so it has traction. The detent is perfect. It's not a strong detent. It's not a light detent. It's literally, you break the detent and it fires, but comfortably. Now, yes, I could probably fail it if I really wanted to. But the smoothness is, you know, it's so smooth, so as soon as it breaks, it flies. And it is rock solid. Like, this is the most solid Sativian I have tried. Now, I've tried a bunch of other ones that have been very solid as well. But this one, just being a titanium frame lock, you know, adds that little bit of extra in there. Now, I like how the blade sits inside the handle really nicely, and then when you look at the machining on this titanium, you can see how it's got like the pink and blue anodizing on it. It looks beautiful. They did a really good job on the anodizing. And then you have the blue hardware to kind of, you know, put a little bit more pop into it. Now, the blade geometry is not going to be the thinnest, but, you know, considering what this knife is for, it's not going to be your cardboard destroyer. Not that you couldn't sit there and break down cardboard with it, but it's going to be more of just, you know, a basic EDC knife. You open it up, make your cut, you know, that type of knife. So, is it that big of a deal? Not really. But, you know, it is a little bit more on the robust side. Not that it's thick behind the edge, but it's just, it's not a broad blade. You know, it comes off with, or it starts off with a thick stock, so it doesn't have that far of transition. Now, let's talk about some negatives really quick, and then we'll go into a couple more things I like about it. So, one thing is, you know, we already said it, the steel's going to be softer. The geometry is a little bit on the thicker side. I don't like T6s. I'd rather see T8s, especially on a premium knife. So the next thing is this clip. So the clip is a little bit tight. Once you get it in the pocket, it goes in really nicely. It comes out really nicely. But once you get it up to right here, it starts getting a little tight under there, especially with the pants that I'm wearing right now, which have very thick pockets. Now, my other pants pockets is probably just fine, as the ones I'm wearing right now are a lot thicker than my other jeans. So, you know, it gets a little tight right there. It'll go all the way in, but it's tight, you know. So, is it that big of a deal? Not really. It still goes all the way in. The next thing is, and you guys already knew this was coming, sharpening tool and plunge grind. Sharpening tool and plunge grind, they needed to put a notch there. All they needed was a half a circle right there. Just something to separate the plunge grind from the edge. But, you know, it is what it is. So it is something that you can fix yourself on this one. And by the way, another thing that's really cool about this is the stop pin's a good size. Look at that stop pin. Good size stop pin. A lot of times we see these little tiny rinky dinky stop pins. That's a good size stop pin. And then it's in a good position so you can cut in your own sharpening tool. All in all. Oh yeah, and it has a nice little hidden lanyard pin back there, exactly where it should be. Instead of drilling a hole through the side of the knife, they put it right there on the back with the titanium backspacer. There isn't any milling on the inside, but there's the carbon fiber, which does give you a little bit of contouring, slightly, you know. So, you know, it kind of makes it a little bit more comfortable in the hand. Now, it does swell in and then back out, as you can see. So it starts off thick, goes slim, then comes back out to thick. And you can notice that a little bit in your palm back here. But if you squeeze up, you know, like choke up to the flipper tab, you don't feel that at all. And it's nice and comfortable. But anyways, all in all, super solid knife. And like I said, the best Sativian I've tried yet. Hands down. Not only fit, finish, and tolerances, action, everything across the board. Yeah, they did a great job on this. You know, I guess the complaints that I do have, you know, are somewhat significant. But for $130, I still think it's a pretty decent value. Of course, you could spend that same money and get a company's steel that has good heat treat, you know, or at least close to it, a few dollars more, but you're not going to get the other premium material. So you got to figure out what's more important to you. Is it going to be the heat treat and steel, or is it going to be the handle materials or the overall package, right? You're somewhat getting the overall package, but without the quality heat treat. So this is going to be a softer steel, softer M390 with good quality handle materials, good quality action. It looks good, nice anodizing, carbon fiber, you know. So you got to pick your poison. If you want a good quality steel that's heat treated very well, you're probably not going to get the handle materials as far as in this price range. I'm talking about this price range. You know, obviously you can spend more, but you know, in this price range, you know, you got to kind of pick your poison, right? It's one or the other. But anyways, I think it's worth it. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.